Okay. Let's get into a game. Reapers. Damn. That's tough. What do we do? Well, let's think about it. ZvT, let's say probably the best non-fully all-in pressure build that messes up the Zerg early on is 3 barracks of Reaper into 3 command centers of Bio. The build order that I'm using this game, I learned from a Grandmaster Zerg player named Bio Ice. I was looking at his profile and his ZvT win rate was above 80%, and mine was below 50% at the time, so I wanted to get in on some of that swarmy wisdom. So what he does is 13 Overlord, 17 Hatch, 18 Gas, 17 Pool. Drones up. These next 2 drones get rallied into the gas. The next drone gets rallied to the worker line. And then you pull 1 worker into gas, so you have 3 out of 3. And then you go for a 19 Overlord. This first Overlord goes to the natural to see if a base is taken, and in this case it will also scout 3 barracks, so we know exactly what's going on. In most cases you can pretty much rule out 3 barracks of Marine. Marines are a lot slower than Reapers, so if they wanted to cheese you with Marines, they would probably put the barracks like here, or here, or here, or something. So this third drone, this was the 19 drone. So when I had 19 supply, and I built an Overlord, and rallied it out here to see Reapers running around, I made another drone, which I already had 16 workers in the main. I didn't send it to the natural, I rallied it immediately to the third. Let's back up and look at that, because that's kind of the subtle, sneaky move that allows you to get that third hatch up on time when Reapers are in the game. One of the main benefits of Reaper is before ling speed is done, you can deny a drone being transferred in this area. But in the early game, there's not too much going on. So I just sent a drone over here to just sit very quietly. And it will just sit here until I'm ready to take the base. If the Reaper runs over here, they won't see a base. They would have to run probably right here to notice the drone. But in this case, they're going for a cheese, so their mindset is, I want to kill the Zerg, I want to set them off balance, I want to shoot their drones, shoot their queens, shoot their lings, and they want to be up in your business. So they're not really thinking about this. So here, we'll kind of follow my vision and see what the defensive procedure looks like. I won't start making lings really until ling speed is halfway done. We'll see production tab. I'm making queens right now. Queens, and then I should make 2 overlords. It's a bit of a counterintuitive thing, but whenever you're getting attacked or cheesed or all in, you scout it and you say, I need to build overlords before you build army, and then you can build a bunch of army with an economy lead. So I have my queens on one hotkey and my lings on a separate hotkey. I knew the Reapers were in my main, so I went for that third base. I've pulled fully off gas. You pull fully off gas with this build so you can afford that third hatch, and lots of queens at lings. Another queen at this base. Trying to keep my queens together. Now with the positioning of your units, you do not want to chase Reapers. You want to protect your drones. That's your whole purpose in this opening setup until ling speed is done. When ling speed is done, you can put your foot on the gas and go try and surround them and do fancy moves. But for now, you want to make sure your queens are not extending past your hatcheries to chase the Reapers. Mainly you just want to kind of hug your drones. That's your whole goal, is to keep as many drones alive as you can while you're making a bunch of lings. So I'm making a bunch of lings, I'm pulling these queens down. If you can lay a creep tumor to connect your bases, that's nice, but you're not always guaranteed to do so, because they could always shoot the tumors before they finish. Hotkeying the third base there. Question, what is the most important overlord in the game? I would say probably this one. It tells me kind of where the Reapers are resting when they're not in my base, and it gives me a little bit of heads up in terms of whether they're going to be leaping into the main or going into the natural over here. This overlord, it's not super consequential. The opponent is showing us what they're investing in just by like putting it in our face. So I don't really need to like sack an overlord at 4 minutes or anything. I know what's going on. And I'm just making lings for a while. As long as the Reapers are on my side of the map and you're massing a bunch of lings, you have an opportunity to just clear the Reapers and then you can go all out into drones. That was a pretty nice move by them. Opponent sent one Reaper up to give vision and then threw some grenades and damaged my lings. They didn't kill any. So it's important to split your lings in half whenever you're going for stuff like this. Otherwise they can just run away and kite with grenades. Okay, so now I'm making drones because I feel like I have more than enough lings to kill all these Reapers. Cool. Now we get that tasty surround. I am going to take some damage to these grenades, but ending the Reaper threat is really nice. So now I'm making queens, getting my bases injected, spreading creep, and once the Reapers have been cleared, it turns into a pretty normal macro game, because they're able to build a couple command centers behind this Reaper pressure, so it's not fully all in, and they will do a follow-up with bio. So what's one of the main limitations on the Reaper opening as opposed to a normal double Medivac Marine opening? The Medivacs are very, very much delayed. They're delaying their tech in this build. They're taking initiative with a bunch of army with the Reapers, and they're taking economy with their 3 command centers, but they're delaying their technology. So you can kind of play the same game of once you've cleared those Reapers, you can just drone super hard. I end up taking my 4th base super fast this game, and then I'm kind of posturing outside the natural with some lings, and then doing a ling drop in the main. I wouldn't say the ling drop is a super crucial part of this game plan, but anytime you have lings left over, it's a way to trade them out cost effectively. It distracts the Terran, you can mess up their build a little bit, it kind of keeps them on edge and gives them something to worry about. So killing that SCV on the command center gives me a slight economy advantage. I'm making 11 drones right now. It's really important when you're doing a ling drop to have something else going on at the same time. It is possible to harass the opponent and fall behind yourself during the harassment, even if you kill some stuff, if you completely fail to macro behind it. So if you want to macro behind some harassment and still get good value out of it, you want to make sure your harassment tactic is as simple as it can possibly be. So all I did was select hatches, select larva, and make drones. I can fix the saturation later. That's one of the things that I've noticed separates low Grandmaster players from high Grandmaster players, especially Zergs, is the high Grandmaster players know when it's safe to drone, and they won't worry about making sure it just goes right to 16 and not above that. They'll just spam the drone button, and then you'll see sometimes at their base, the drone count will go up to like 24 or something, and then they'll box the workers and send them to a different base so the saturation is even. Or they'll take 2 gas and then fill the gas or something. So now I'm going for the basic macro expenditures. 1-1 upgrades, Bane Nest, Lair, making more drones, 4th base is up, macro hatch is up. I made a few more lings just to keep pressuring this 3rd orbital. Just trying to give the opponent a bad time. Sent a few lings in here. Anytime you're pretty ahead, it's nice to just do light pressure like this, because they lose mining time, they lose workers. And then anytime you're ahead in economy, it's favorable to you to trade out stuff, even if it's not directly killing the opponent and ending the game. Terran is very much strapped for cash and income right now, and Zerg is not, so I can just kind of ram these lings into them, even though it's not super amazing trading lings with Stim Marines. Bane speed, I'll take a Spire, and then 2-2 after 1-1 is done. Filling up the gases, and making more drones. 1 spore per base, just to be a bit safe against Liberator or Mine. You could probably say that I didn't need them this game, because I know how the Terran is spending their starport cycles, but it's not a bad habit to put 1 spore per base in ZvT, the vast majority of leagues of play. So one principle to kind of touch on there is that a lot of people who think about StarCraft at the highest levels of play and what pro gamers should be doing isn't precisely the same as what the rest of us should be doing. People who are on the ladder, but we're not at the big high-level tournaments on stage and that sort of thing. And a lot of those decisions revolve around adding some static defense. The highest level of players have really good minimap awareness and camera management, so they're able to just use units to defend lots of different types of pressure, because their eyes are glued on the minimap as much of the game as possible. Whereas for the rest of us, we're just trying to do a build correctly. We're trying to make sure that we have our bases injected and our army is where we like it, and we're trying to get to our correct drone count. They've basically memorized all that, so they're just staring at the minimap the majority of the game. So just adding one spore per base. If you want to do one spine and one spore, yes, it does cut into your economy a little bit, but it does buy you some time. If they drop a base, they have something that they have to push through before they can get on top of your workers. I tend to favor just one spore per base for a little bit of a buffer against Liberator and also detection against Widowmine Drop or Banshee or something like that. So spreading a lot of creep. One thing that I've seen as a bad habit of a lot of players is they will overmake veins and then just sit on their own creep. If you're trying to be safe, maybe make a handful of banes, like I made 6 banes here. But if you make 25 to 30 banes and you sit on creep, you're really hurting yourself, because banelings do not gain value over time. The only time they get value is when they kill stuff, which is a single moment. So ideally you want to make your banes right before you trade out your banes. Or when you lose all your banes, and then you can remake kind of a safety baneling buffer. Otherwise, you should make better units or tech more. So mutas are a better gas expenditure than banelings. They allow you to take air control. You can potentially harass the Terran's production. And you can also tech into hive for ultras and all that fancy stuff. So this was a game where I didn't need to get into hive tech. The opponent had made enough mistakes in the Reaper stage and then in the Bio stage that they were just too far behind. 50 workers. 61 fourth base. They scanned the fourth and saw the saturation and left. So that's basically the gist of playing out a 3-Rax Reaper into Bio ZvT game. When would you go for a baneling run by? You can go for a baneling run by. I really like it at the 4th base for Terran when it's a planetary. If you do a ling run by at a planetary, the planetary will just kill the lings. But banelings can usually come in and deliver their damage to the worker line before the planetary can kill them. How many safety banes in ZvT? I would say 6 to 10. So not that bad.